And she's going to have an affair on you, right? I mean, because she...
Yeah, that's how the game goes.
Hit it. No! Oh! No! All right, do it. Mark! Yes! Club members, welcome. Was that a good one? Did we get that right?
No, that was good.
We're going to have we're going to have a rated X deeply disturbing channel for the stuff we discuss prior to you guys getting here. It's troubling. And what's worse is Mark's 18. So it's disturbing. Welcome, people. Welcome. We are 5,400-ish. That's all. Just no big deal. We're just killing it. That's all. Marky, you good?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
I tried to get Mark on camera. He's like, oh, man, I just got to do this and this. I'm like, dude, you have to. People want to know what you look like. It's because you got a girlfriend now, right? She's like, and if you get on that camera, I'm killing you. My friend was telling me one of the great, I love women. I love how you guys are, but you guys have some fucked up rules sometimes. And so my friend was telling me that his wife was mad at him because the bank teller, where she pulled up to the bank in his car, said, hey, is that Eric's car? Eric Weston's car? Eric's a fairly well-known person. And now he's not more well-known. I probably wasn't supposed to say this. And he said, well, honey, how am I supposed to control what the bank lady says about my car? Well, how does she know it's your car?
Because I picked her up last night. We had a good time.
He didn't do that, Candace. He didn't do that. But it was funny. I said it's a quintessential woman rule. It's like, wait, I just went to the bank.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Some of it's dated, but it's because it's been 2 weeks. We've been trying to get here, and we've been dealing with marijuana stuff like we always do because it's the weirdest thing.
But in like a business way.
In a business way, yes, yes. Well, and hopefully in a business way. I was telling Mark, so we're trying to buy a cultivation facility, and it has been months. And we had a deal like 2 months ago, going to sign the contract, and there's probably 5 business partners. And I get this call. One says, hey, we could save you some money if we cut out this other one. And I said, I really don't think that's a good way to start the business off. But, I'm not getting in the middle of your guys' stuff. And then another person calls and says, hey, if we cut out so-and-so. And I'm like, I had like I had $100,000 of cash sitting next to me. And I'm like, I'm just not going to give you, because I'm a fucking brilliant businessman, I'm not going to give you $100,000 in cash when you're trying to screw your business, both one business partner and then the other's trying to screw the other one. Mm-hmm. It's because I know stuff. That's what I've been busy on. But the main reason we're here is because it's celebrating Equality and Pedophilia Week. Because on the Fletchcast, on this multicultural podcast, we celebrate lots of things. And today we're celebrating equality and pedophilia. Now, before everyone loses their mind, I just want to point out there are heterosexual pedophiles, there are homosexual pedophiles, there are bisexual pedophiles, and we're going to treat them all equally. And every one of them are pieces of shit. And it's just horrible, and it's pissing me off. And this is kind of my segue in to two things is, pedophiles are so devastating. I read this study. It said 92% of serial killers were not just molested as children, were horribly molested. Horribly, which isn't stunning. It destroys people. And so there are some pedophiles who are there because they're there. And it's unfortunate. But I don't know what you do, but I do know this is they are horrible. And why does this matter? Carl Nassib, first NASSIB, first openly gay NFL player. And I know what people are thinking, well, being gay isn't the same as being a pedophile, or being gay is being a pedophile. And I'm like, no, they're fundamentally different. But my point is that the NFL spent considerable time making excuses about, we look forward to Mr. Nassib trying, and we are kind of, they're kind of shitty, backhanded compliments at some level. And it felt the players are great. The NFL did nothing to celebrate this dude. The NFL didn't say, man, this is really cool. I mean, what discrimination against gay people does, it destroys kids. And the NFL, instead of treating this dude like a fucking hero, it's almost this guarded, well, he's this and it's nice. And it just kind of brought me back to this whole premise of, the duplicitous double standard is shit. And the reason that's so important this week is this dude. Where is this guy at? I wrote this down. I wrote it all down. Barkevious Mingo. Barkevious Mingo.
When you first started saying his name, I thought you were going to call me out. And I was like, wait, I'm not on trial.
Mark is a pedophile.
Oh!
Barkevious Mingo, a linebacker for the Atlanta Falcons, arrested for molesting children. And here's my point. There's zero chance that people did not understand that this is a grown-ass 6'6", giant man hanging out with children. The NFL spends more time on acting like Carl Nassib isn't a big deal. They spend more time acting like, oh, it's just the run-of-the-mill day than they do on this piece of shit pedophile. This guy's a full-blown pedophile. Again, as we talked the other week ago, it's being gay just means you're having sex with somebody. Means you're having sex with someone, and you're an adult. See, being a pedophile says you're having sex with someone, and it's a child. And so the NFL spends more time on equivocating and qualifying its respect for Nassib and other gay players. It's like this. It's painful for them to act as if wow, these guys are kind of normal and maybe we've not done the right thing. And the whole time you have a fucking pedophile, Barkevious Mingo, in a locker room. I don't care what you say. Someone saw it. Someone knew it. And the NFL, 2 weeks after, there's literally a hero comes out, and then we learned about Barkevious Mingo molesting children. His cousin and his cousin's friend taking him to hotels and shopping sprees and things like that, which gets us to this whole other thing of, they call it, this is not necessarily Barkevious Mingo's problem, they call it grooming. That he's taking them to expensive restaurants and taking them shopping and taking them to overnight. He got caught because he was having oral sex with, I think it was a 12-year-old boy in bed. And here's my point. 2 parts. So these parents, first of all, if you let your child leave with an adult, you're an idiot. I was telling Mark, I coach soccer, and no normal person, it's just the rules, is going to be alone with a child. I remember we're standing out in the park, and it's good for everybody. Yeah, I'm just going to wait here. I know it's pitch black, but this person is taking kids to hotels, taking them to trips, taking them shopping, and some parent is allowing that to happen. So those parents are pieces of shit. But it's the NFL and it's the people that saw this and didn't say anything. This has gotten zero attention. The NFL spent more time trashing Deshaun Watson and him using ejaculate as a weapon than they did on the pedophile, the person sexually attacking, raping children. They spent more time criticizing Deshaun Watson for having a stripper prostitute jack him off in a hotel in exchange for money, which is legal, than they've said in criticizing the pedophile. They've not spent a penny on stopping pedophiles, not a penny on trafficking people. NFL still has what's the owner from New England? Paying Asian women to have sex. That's sex trafficking. Not a word. Half-ass effort in supporting Nassib. They're just such utter hypocrites, and it's painful.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fucked up.
And I also think, like, when we look at how little they
that's
do,
my lead into Mark. Mark's like, thank you.
You make me sound like a newscaster.
Well, it's you.
Hello. But when I look at that, like, the NFL immediately launched an investigation into those types of things.
Yeah.
And they're a private corporation, so you don't actually have to tell them anything.
Yeah.
Like, their investigation doesn't really mean that much externally when the law is already involved. But this is one of those situations where like you said, like there has to have been allegations and things like this leading up to it.
Or how about just basic weirdness about why are you hanging out with an 8-year-old who's not your kid?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa,
we didn't
and then
know.
they just dropped him from the team.
That's
and
it.
It's like,
and did nothing.
Okay.
No training. No. You can. I mean, it's literally. I think the number is 25% of all female, not female. Well, they're female, but girls were molested. 25%, 1 in 4. Someone saw this. Someone knew this was happening. Someone had a concern. And you bring up a really good point. Where is the investigation? Where is this? You're investigating Deshaun Watson. Where is the investigation? What are you doing to root out pedophiles in the NFL? What are you doing to make an example of this? Nothing. It's just this utter hypocrisy. It's stunning beyond belief, but it also directly ties into two other stories that were out there this week. One was Rachel Nichols, the ESPN female host, who the ESPN is beating up at some level, a lot, frankly, because she said this about Maria Taylor. Now, let me say something for absolute clarity. I'm for Maria Taylor just because she's fucking hot. Just stunningly, amazingly hot. And she is just amazingly hot. She's also an amazingly qualified, competent reporter with all types of skills. She's really, really good. Rachel Nichols is an attractive woman. She's also a real reporter. And so what's been all over the news was Rachel Nichols allegedly attacking diversity and attacking Maria Taylor's promotion, and they're beating up Rachel Nichols. Here's what she said. She said, I'm all for Disney fixing things, and I'm all for Maria Taylor, but don't fix your horrible problem on diversity for women and for people of color. Don't fix it because of me. Don't fix it because of her. What she said was 100% true. ESPN has a horrible record. She says, but you don't fix it by taking care of me. And so what ESPN does, and a bunch of other people go out and they say, oh, Rachel Nichols is attacking African-American women and African-Americans being promoted. It's not what she did. It's just an utter fundamental misstatement. And what it is this idea of groups arguing for the ultra rich and the super powerful, because this is really ESPN is Disney is ABC, and it's stunning the backlash that Rachel Nichols has gotten, and all she did was tell the truth. And that truth is important, which is because you know what happens is there's like an interchangeable portion. ESPN says we have to have 14% minorities and 15% females, and it can't be more than that. And the reason they do that is because they've got to have 60% white guys. And so all Rachel Nichols is saying, you should have more people, you should have more diversity, and when you're substituting me out for just someone else, that's not fixing anything, and it's wrong. And by the way, Maria Taylor's a great reporter. Rachel Nichols is a great reporter, and yet ESPN and Disney have been trashing her. They went out and they got it's the National Black Journalists, this MJBA came out, and literally took what is it? I think it's National Black Journalists Association. This group drives me crazy anyway, because it's these serious news people who, for some reason, don't report serious news, particularly serious news about black people or Latinos or women. They just kind of run out and they'll attack, whatever group their kind of overseers want them to see. And in this case, it's Disney. National Black Journalists Association attacks Rachel Nichols and says, we have hecklers out here, and says, we want to sit down with Rachel Nichols and talk to her about what she said. And people are like, she should do it. I'm like, Rachel, as Eddie Murphy said, tell Bill to suck my fuck you, Bill. You don't even know it. It's Eddie Murphy Delirious. Tell Bill to fuck you. Rachel Nichols should tell the National Black Journalists Association, fuck you. This idea that you're attacking her, and all she said was, and it's correct, you have a horrible record on diversity. She didn't say black people, Latinos, or Mexicans. She said diversity overall, which they do. And don't try to fix that on my back.
Yeah, and I think like in TV and in movies and stuff like that, there is a case to be actually afraid. If you're just like like an average white dude or whatever, and it's just like you're not gay or you're not the color of the week necessarily. There's a hunch to feel kind of on edge that your job might be taken.
Well, but here's the thing, though. It's the color of the week portion, and that's really kind of what Rachel Nichols is saying is if you have this finite number, and if you're just taking one out and putting one in, you're not fixing anything. And it's just fucked up. But what drives me crazy is, again, are African-American entities that they don't understand is this isn't about Rachel Nichols. This is about Disney not hiring people of color. This is about, it's crazy. And yet here they are. They did not, I researched this because I research everything. They did not make a statement about Deshaun Watson. Not a fucking word. They did not say, wait, by the way, these are some pretty strange claims, and none of which seem to be true. Should we be destroying this 26-year-old kid who's a superstar based upon the words of 8 strippers? Should we do that? There's not a single allegation. I mean, but yet with Rachel Nichols, we want to meet with her. Really, here's something you can meet with. Why is it that, and this is ESPN does this, and me and my friends laugh all the time. If you are a well-spoken person of color, you are put to the side because they literally, I call it the Marcellus Wallace thing. You want a guy who sounds kind of smart, but who simply can't enunciate basic words. They want people of color who are kind of dumb, who sound kind of smart. If you're a really smart, articulate, I hate that when I mean that in a Caucasian or African American, if you're a really smart person of color, you get sidelined because of people that because they want a specific type of athlete, kind of dumb, kind of a jock.
They're a lot less dangerous. I think almost there's a point with the Rachel Nichols thing where, in a sense, they might be more bothered by the fact that she pointed out the history.
100%.
Like not the statement, but like stating that.
100%.
Yeah.
And you just, by the way, made that infinitely clearer than I was. That's been my whole point is you're attacking her. Not because what she said, but because she's saying it out loud. And what she's saying is, it's you guys. You're the ones discriminating. That's what she did. So they took it and switched around and said, look, she's against black people. That's not what she said at all. She says it's Disney's problem. It's ESPN's. And again, it's this dumb thing. It's the National Black Journalists Association, where you have people that won't report significant news. You'll find this hard to believe. They didn't say anything about Mingo molesting black children. It's crazy. It's crazy. But this is why we do the Fletch cast. This is why, and I mean this sincerely, why multicultural people, we're going to save the world. Because what's happening now is you have regular people out there who are speaking for the ultra super rich, and they're willing to do it. And it's people like Disney. It's people like, these gigantic conglomerates that beat up people like Rachel Nichols, who says, this is not me. This is you're the problem. You get regular people who now go out and argue for Disney. They're attacking Rachel Nichols because Disney wants them to. Here's the perfect example. And it's pitcher for the Dodgers. It is. Ooh. Do you see this?
I've heard about it.
It's unbelievable. Dodgers owned by Disney, I think. White guy goes out. I think he might be worse than a pedophile. Now, if you have sex with a chick when she's passed out, I think that's called rape. What's his name? It's why am I forgetting it? It's stunning. I read this for the first time, and this happened 2 weeks after Rachel Nichols. You finding him?
Oh, I was just looking up who owned the Dodgers.
Well, look up the pitcher who had sex with a woman while she was passed out, beat her up, did groups of things. I literally have it written down. I didn't make it over, of course. Trevor Bauer.
Yeah.
Trevor Bauer paid a ton of money. Literally, and there's two parts here. One is she goes to the police. They don't even arrest him. They don't even charge him. Finally, it was like 3 weeks ago. She goes, I was raped and brutalized by Trevor Bauer. I went to the police and told them, and they've done nothing. The Dodgers didn't suspend him for 2 weeks. The Major League Baseball didn't order he be suspended for like 3. He's still look.
He just got placed on. I just looked. The ESPN article came out like an hour ago.
Right, well, there you go.
He just got breaking news.
Dun, dun, dun. ESPN says, okay, we're going to have to
on,
do something about the white guy raping the white chick.
So he's on administrative leave to July 27th.
Wow.
Getting paid $1.5 million a week.
Wow.
So basically, he doesn't have to go to work.
Right.
Woo!
Right.
That's a good time.
We're
man.
punishing you, but
Stay home.
But the crazy part, and again, this goes back to the rich and the powerful, and it's the corporations. You can't equate. You look to see the coverage that Deshaun Watson has had, which we've covered extensively, and there's no allegation of him having sex with a woman passed out. There's no allegation. You can't even compare them. You look at the coverage that Rachel Nichols got. Rachel Nichols has been treated worse than Trevor Bauer. The coverage of Rachel Nichols has been worse than Trevor Bauer. Think about that. Trevor Bauer, and there's no question. He says, she told me she wanted me to do that. Well, if she's passed out, unless you're communicating telepathically, she can't tell you that. But 2, that sure doesn't seem like it. But 3, and in the context of coverage in the world, that still should be covered. Deshaun Watson you didn't attribute him any due process. You didn't say, this sounds really weird that he's able to ejaculate on not 1 but 2 of your faces, and none of you saw it coming, literally. But Trevor Bauer attacks, beats up a woman, fractures her. It's just craziness. And then it gets suspended originally. ESPN, this should be in the front of ESPN every day. It's not. Rachel Nichols gets treated worse than she's gotten more coverage than the pedophile. The pedophile was one story. Rachel Nichols has been treated worse than a pedophile, and she's been treated worse than a guy that raped and beat up a woman. Now, maybe that's just because those facts are one thing, or maybe there's a different standard for females standing up, as you said, which was a great point, is she's being punished. If you say you discriminate and you have forever and you are treated worse than a pedophile and a rapist, that might suggest that if you are a female in media, you probably shouldn't ever have the audacity to say, by the way, you guys discriminate and you've done it forever. What message does that send?
I think the money is upset. When you look at it, it's kind of like, we're going to make a bigger deal about what affects the wallet versus what affects people.
I agree.
I haven't seen, with the Deshaun Watson case, my man he's settling. He's doing what he's got to do. Because if I look up coverage for that, there's not anything since April. It's quiet.
He hasn't settled anything. I looked the other day. They have no case.
It's just
that's the problem.
Slowly faded away.
Because that's the problem. They did all this bum rush, and we should. And the NFL is now saying we're still thinking about investigating them. But it's like, for what? For what? And again, that gets back to this double standard of, and yes, the NFL is different than ESPN, kind of, although they're one and the same. The idea that Deshaun Watson is treated like a scumbag, rapist, horrible person, and Rachel Nichols is beat up career. They're trying to destroy her, and no one is saying what interracial brother Mark was dead on. All she did was blow the whistle on craziness. Oh, well, if she says that, well, she's a racist because she's against Maria Taylor. She did not say that.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those, I can't, if I was in a similar position, I guess, I think I'm going down with the ship too. If my job is potentially getting taken from me, it's like, all right, y'all, I'm gonna air this out, and I'm gonna let everyone know in a very gentle way. And of course, I think it's a very prideful thing. In the same time, because it's like, I don't want my job taken, and it's that happens to every host.
But she wasn't. Well, and it does. But she, in my opinion, is being treated for, again, as you said, for what she said, for blowing the whistle, for pointing this out. It's not that. I think she's right. And was she being moved out? Probably. Maria Taylor is great. And again, she's beautiful, which is the only thing that matters in a news reporter is that she's beautiful. But she's a really nice reporter. She knows a lot of stuff, a lot of facts. She's just better. Unfortunately, in the media, particularly with women, there's just an age thing. what's the dude? Is it Claypool? What is it? old white guy, just one of the most god ugly people in the world. And I remember my girlfriend at the time was like, how is he on TV? And you could be you could be a really attractive, hugely qualified journalist and female, and you can't be on there because you're 42. John Clayton. And John Clayton's a nice guy, but not the most attractive fellow. And my friend was like, this is crazy. How's he on TV? So maybe, Maria Taylor's being moved for other reasons. Not Maria Taylor. Nichols was being moved for other reasons. But to me, what she's doing is she's being singled out. And to what you said also earlier is that why would you? If my kid came to me and said, I think that they discriminate, should I say anything on air? I would say, only if you want to lose your job.
Yeah.
They win, and it's unfortunate, but how much do you have to give? I bet you Rachel Nichols would take it back, even though what she was saying was the right thing.
The other thing, too, is like, the statement is dangerous because I doubt that there's any record of anyone coming to her and saying, like, hey, we're going to move you out because you're white. Like,
but I don't think
I don't think that's.
Do you think it was because she's white, or she just? I think Maria Taylor's better.
Well, no, but her statement was saying that, like.
But that wasn't her statement. Her statement is you are trying to fix your diversity problem.
What's the difference in diversity?
Well, because there's women diversity and there's people of color diversity.
Exactly. So I think what she's getting on is like, you want to switch me out for a person of another race. This is you. Like, this isn't my fault. This is your fault.
Right.
But the fact that they never came out and said we're switching her out because of race. Then she's the one who brings up race, and it looks really bad.
But she didn't bring up race. Look at her statement. She says, because you've had a horrible problem with diversity for 15 years or something. Like, she never mentioned race.
But what's the difference then? Like, if they're both, like, female journalists, then where does the diversity lie?
Well, the diversity is in females, people of color.
Boom. I think it's like...
But there's not... The people of color, there's not just one diversity. There's females.
Yes.
I mean, But
they're both female, though.
Well, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Oh, that's a good point.
Because if she's the one who brought up race, which is not a bad
Rachel
thing.
Nichols is not the one who brought up race. Did not bring up race at all.
Well, she just said that they were changing diversity.
She said, don't try to fix your horrible diversity problem by getting rid of me or on my back.
But where's the increase in diversity?
There is no increase. That's what she's saying. Is you're not solving it. You're not trying to solve it. But I see what you're saying. You're saying that because she's saying you're trying to solve your diversity problem, that inherently references race.
Yeah, like if she was if they were swapping out a man with a woman, then it would be like, okay, that's what they're talking about.
Well, that would be a form of, whether it be gender diversity, I guess.
Yeah.
But but just for clarity, Rachel Nichols never said race.
No,
I see what you're saying. I think she was saying just overall, you guys have a shitty record.
Definitely.
You're not fixing it by taking one out and putting one in, which I was saying earlier. But the way it's been perceived to me is, and this is your point and it was well taken, which is they're mad, not that she said it, they're mad because she said why it is and how it's happening, and this is your fault. Which I think it's cool. I mean, she's gonna lose her career. But what do you do? I mean, what if you're if you're a female journalist or even a Caucasian journalist, if you're someone who just says, you know what, this just factually speaking is really fucked up, and I think it's wrong. Could you really say that now without fear of being fired? You'd be crazy.
Yeah, I also think if you work at ESPN, it's scary because it's like, man, I don't want to go to Yahoo. Like, I work at ESPN.
It's also scary because it also looks like, man, it feels like we're on a boat and it's cold, and I think that is a giant iceberg out there, and it feels like we're driving right toward it if you're at ESPN because they're bleeding. But my issue really is you guys are you're missing the point, and you're out here covering and arguing up for Disney. The problem is, and this again, it's back to multiculturalism. It's back to why we have to matter is that the issue has to be addressed factually. If you address it factually, it will mean something. It's okay. Women have a right to be involved in all avenues of the world, and they should not be attacked. Just like minorities should not be attacked by saying your history's fucked up. What you're trying to do is you want to have 2.6 minorities and 1.3 women, and that is not solving anything. It's perpetuating the problem. And that's what she said. And she's been trashed for it. And I just recommend to people, go read it. I read it. I was like, wait a minute. What she's saying is completely true. So, how long we got, Mark? What time is it?
31 minutes.
I said 30, didn't I?
You did.
See, if I would have been, I'm going to blame you for rambling on. I'm just going to blame you.
I'll take it.
All right, you should. How's the girlfriend thing going? Good?
That's fine.
Yeah? Wow. It's fine. It's fine. A little tight lip there. Guys, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We do. We really are trying to come back every week. It's just things have been crazy, but we're going to do it. This is great. It's the highlight of my week in many ways, in lots and lots of ways. It's important, and what we're talking about today is important. This pedophile thing is it can't be normalized. It can't be normalized in the NFL, in pro sports, period. And we have to just look and see the coverage on Carl Nassib and how they downplayed it. And instead of, being excited about something, they downplayed it. And then on the back of that, you see literally a pedophile, and they say nothing. It's just distorted principles. It's really wrong. And let's hope Deshaun Watson gets back this week. Again, it's apparently they're looking for there's nothing, and the guy can't go play. That's it. Jake's sitting over here, the dog. He's pissed off. He's like, I hate you guys. We interpret dog here too. Thank you very much. It's been a Mark Samuel media production. Are we still in conjunction with the Laugh Factory or no?
Yeah.
Are they still doing stuff?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a riveting endorsement. In conjunction with the Laugh Factory, Mike Green and Sean.
The Laugh Bureau.
Laugh Bureau. Fuck. And Sean, what's Sean's last name?
McBride.
In conjunction with the Laugh Bureau, Mike Green and Sean McBride. Sean McBride's a funny, really good actor. Have you seen his acting piece?
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, dude, you can act. And Mike Green's just the most serious brother on the planet, man. He's just... All right, we love you guys. Thank you. Go. Woo!